Oh, this is probably a pretty good, more perfect union video as well, talking about United Healthcare, actually. This company makes billions by rationing your healthcare.
A few weeks ago, producer Alec Opperman reached out to me with a surprising fact. Doctors are taking out payday loans. That kind of blew my mind. Doctors, as far as I know, make a ton of money.
What do you mean he did it for the money? He's a doctor. He's already rich.
So Alec did some digging, and he uncovered this new brazen strategy.
And the fucked up thing is, most doctors actually don't even make that much money. Most doctors make very little money.
In healthcare.
When my mom died, the medical bill was literally $1 million, and the hospital just like kept her doing all kinds of things that most likely wouldn't help. She had very good insurance, though.
Responsible not only for those scummy loans, but also denying patients, like you and the people you love, the vital care that they need. And it goes far beyond just our already broken system. So, who's the shadowy supervillain behind this plot to rip off both doctors and patients? It's America's largest insurer. This is The Classroom for More Perfect Union, and today we're looking at the massive power of United Healthcare. Before we get into United Healthcare's new strategy to shortchange doctors and patients alike, we need to talk about how they became America's largest insurer. United was founded in Minneapolis in 1977 and pioneered a new kind of insurance, treating people within closed networks of providers, health maintenance organizations, or HMOs. HMOs were pitched as a way to curb America's exploding healthcare costs, which did not happen. HMOs proliferated after 1973 as a result of the Health Maintenance Organization Act, which gave federal grants and mandated...
Is 10 gift subs to make Mayor Cat show up on stream. I'm putting out a 10K bounty.
Employers offer an HMO option to their employees. The law suddenly made HMOs very popular and very profitable. Alec told me about an old non-profit HMO, Physicians Health Plan.
It's a network of doctors in...
Sorry, wait.
Bachelor's in engineering. I did the math and she'll never catch up to me financially despite the higher salary.
Yeah. No, medical school, and that's not even talking about the fact that like medical school is like, it's a fucking joke. It's a total joke. Like, sorry, the costs. You have to give up almost a decade of your life. Unless you're like fast tracking it, you have to give up almost a decade of your life to like med school and to residency. And you have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. So even whatever money you're making, you're drowning in so much debt that you're never going to pay off, despite having a job that is one of the most important jobs in society. More than a decade, to be honest, undergrad, medical school, residency, fellowship. Yes. Residency and then fellowship, and then you get to make $250K, but you're like $750K in debt. And like considering that there's a shortage of like nurses and doctors everywhere, how is that a good system? How is it a good system that we punish the people who dedicate their lives to trying to help other people? Like, what a joke, dude. What a joke. Isn't it sad that, like, if I want to give advice to a friend that wants to go to school, the right thing to do is to tell that person, hey, don't do med school. Don't do med school. You're going to be in a fuck ton of debt that you'll probably never pay off, and then you'll be overworked for the rest of your life. That's a bad system. That is a bad system. That the moral thing to do is to talk your friend out of going to med school. That the moral thing to do is actually to tell your friend, honestly, you should do anything else. Mimsy, thank you so much for the 5 gift subs. Thanks. Hold on.
maintenance organization in Minneapolis, and they had hired United Healthcare to manage the HMO. Physicians Health Plan is a nonprofit, but United Healthcare is very much for-profit.
Were the doctors happy? Was this a good system for them?
No, they were so unhappy that there was national news coverage that they were threatening to unionize. They were mad that they were being underpaid by United Healthcare, saying it was barely enough to cover their overhead. They were also alleging a conflict of interest with the chair of the nonprofit Physicians Health Plan, who was Richard Burke.
And who ran the for-profit United Healthcare?
Also Richard Burke. So this man who was running a nonprofit had hired his for-profit company to manage this nonprofit tax-exempt organization.
When you first mentioned Richard Burke to me, I tried looking him up online, and there's really not that much. I tried a video search, and I only found this one video.
The whiteboard video?
The whiteboard video. This guy with a whiteboard that's literally about how it's so hard to find information about this guy online.
My dad's a radiologist in his mid-50s. He's still paying off his medical debt. Trigger warning, self-harm, former med student here. There's an incredible level of burnout and mental illness in med school. 1/3 of all med students have considered self-harming before. It's also so much work, like working overtime hours, and it's all self-studying. Yeah. My dad was in a worker accident that permanently disabled him for life. My mom had to quit her job to be his caretaker, and the insurance company refused to compensate her because they determined as a wife it is her duty to take care of her husband. Like, wow, good system, guys. Good system.
Only mentioned once in United Health Group's own history. He's been thoroughly involved since the beginning, and he's thoroughly involved now. There are very few to no articles about this person. Can you find articles about the founders of all these companies? Gobs and gobs and gobs of them, but not Richard T. Burke. Organizations are not nameless and faceless. I mean, they are groups of people, and people are responsible for decisions that cause these organizations to be the way they are.
Much of United's initial growth was enabled by the HMO Act and the $300 million in grants from the government. Burke and United started snapping up all of these federally subsidized insurers, essentially stealing entire taxpayer-funded organizations. And it makes a lot of sense that the bill was so helpful to United Healthcare. It was written by a think tank, Interstudy.
Interstudy was founded by Paul Elwood Jr. He's this guy who's called the father of the HMO. But I also found another important figure at Interstudy. One of the directors was none other than Richard Burke.
United grew from a regional group of HMOs to a national insurer with a breadth of plans. Like other insurers, they claimed their growth would be helpful to the average American. The bigger they got, they said, the better they could negotiate with healthcare providers and
pass the savings on to you.
which did not happen. A wave of mergers and
What?
acquisitions in the insurance industry in the
No.
90s wiped out the patchwork of regional nonprofit insurers that had already existed. Companies like Anthem went on a shopping spree for these nonprofits and added them to their for-profit empire. At the same time, United continued to consolidate and spent billions acquiring other for-profit insurers. Despite their promises, healthcare costs continued to increase. But they were getting more efficient in one crucial way: rationing your healthcare. For years, only a small portion of claims got denied. It just wasn't cost-effective to have a human review every request for care. But today, nearly 1 in 5 claims are denied. In 2021...
And the crazy thing about even the idea of like denying a claim, the fact that there are 1 in 5 claims that are being denied, how many people are trying to actively scam insurance through going to the doctor? Like, I want to meet this hypothetical person that's trying to get the insurance company to pay more money for for problems that don't exist. Like, I'm going to take unpaid leave off of my job so I can go to the doctor for fun. Yeah, I'm just going in for my weekly prostate exam I get. Like, who? Like, that person doesn't exist. That no one is going to the doctor for fun. No one is doing that. No one is like choosing to go out of their way to see the dentist more times than they need to. Okay? I personally don't know anyone that even wants to go to the dentist when they need to. That's just Austin show. Okay, that's one guy, all right? Everybody already knows that. Insurance companies know who he is, okay? Like, is anyone in here someone who goes to the dentist like more than you're supposed to because you want to go to the dentist more? I don't want to go to the dentist. I don't like going to the dentist. I put it off. I schedule my cleaning and then I dread the entire time thinking about having to go and then get scolded for not flossing enough. There's no one that's doing this thing, like this problem. No one is scamming insurance companies by going to the doctor too much. Like, unless you have unless you're a hypochondriac and you have pre-existing like mental illness regarding health, in which case I think it would be obvious because you would recognize this person is getting like a billion tests for a billion things. This is just not someone who exists, generally speaking. The vast majority of people don't like going to the doctor, and they don't go to the doctor more often than they need to because it's going to be paid for. And this plays out in practice in other countries that have like the single-payer healthcare systems. Like, any European chatters in here? Do you personally or know anyone personally that goes to the doctor way more often than needed? Or any Canadians in here that are like, oh, well, it's not going to get, it's free anyway, so I'm going to go to my family practitioner 6 times this month just for fun, and then wait in the lobby for 3 hours to wait to get seen. Because everybody knows family doctors they're always the longest wait times. And then I'm going to go to the optometrist for fun, even though I just got my vision tested and it's fine. And then I'm going to go, like, this isn't happening. Like, this is just not happening. This is not happening. Canadian here, we don't do that. Nobody does that. Nobody is taking their personal free time and choosing to spend it going to fucking doctor offices for no reason. Canadian here, I see my doctor maybe once every 3 or 6 months. It's so ridiculous. It's so fucking stupid.
That added up to nearly 50 million. 50 million instances of Americans being told, no, we won't pay for that thing you need to live a healthy life. Think about it. You pay a premium every month to United Health and other insurers for health insurance, and they mostly focus.
My wife does 3 dental cleanings a year because her teeth need it. I mean, honestly, 3 cleanings a year is not a bad number of cleanings per year, from my understanding. I think you're supposed to get like 2 a year. But like 3 is also, like, my dentist suggested that I could do 3 a year. They were like, we usually do them every 6 months, but if we have an opening in like the next 4 months, we can come back and double check on your gums and stuff. And you need to start flossing. I'm like, I don't want to floss. I floss, ha ha ha, sometimes.
Focus on making sure that they won't have to foot the bill. You can appeal denials, but insurers do everything in their power to make that super difficult. Only 1 in 500 cases are appealed. There are 500 sheets in a ream of paper, and those fail 59% of the time, leaving this little sliver of paper as the lucky ones that got through compared to all of this. These are worth billions of dollars for insurers. So what the hell is going on here? Let me explain. As these companies grew and got some of that sweet, sweet economy of scale, having entire departments of people to look at claims and deny them became way cheaper.
I found an older newspaper article where a real person's job title was simply denial nurse.
Denial nurse.
This is the same exact concept behind why oil companies are allowed to get away with polluting.
Another month, another wormy request.
Wormy! I don't know where Wormy is. Maybe if I call her, she'll come. Wormy! Wormy cat! Wormy! 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 Sometimes when I call her, she comes. Thank you, Axon, for the 15 months. We'll see if she shows up. What was I saying? Wait. Oh, this is the same reason oil companies continue to pollute. If you make something, if you make the punishment for something a fine, effectively you are just showing people the cost of doing business. And that's why oil companies continue to pollute our environment, because they know they're not actually going to get punished for it. They just have to pay a fine, and that's cheaper than actually changing their practices. They can pollute our water by using shittier products for transporting oil or transporting gas or whatever. And cleaning up the leak and paying the fine would be cheaper than changing the infrastructure to be better. Same concept here. It's cheaper to hire people to deny claims than it is to just simply use that money to pay out the claims. So when some fucking dipshit on Twitter is like, their operating costs are really high. Okay, and how much of those operating costs are dedicated to people who literally just deny claims? They literally only get paid to deny claims. What if we stopped having so many of those people, and instead that money went towards the people who were putting in the requests to get a fucking treatment for something?
Denial nurse.
It isn't just nurses poring over claims looking for excuses to deny them. Tech plays a role too. Dr. Alan Mooney, an executive at United, pioneered a system that allowed for bulk claim denials at rapid speed. United's aggressive denial or underpayment of claims has made them the target of tons of lawsuits.
They're losing a bunch of cases. They were sued by two healthcare groups, Team Healthcare and Envision. The things that they were alleging in these suits that they won was gross underpayment and mass denial of claims, right? So in the case of Envision, they were rejecting nearly half of all the doctor's claims for medical care.
Huge hospitals have very expensive, well-staffed billing departments to chase down insurers for money, but most small practices don't have that luxury. But denying claims is just the start of United's plan to pad their profits at the expense of the patient. Which brings us back to the payday loans.
While I was reporting this piece, I reached out to one doctor who was publicly complaining about the payday loans from United. So the doctor emailed me this report, and the number in there that they pointed me to was that 41% of healthcare providers needed to take out external funds to stay afloat. So like loans, stimulus, etc.
This is why doctors and practices end up needing to take out those predatory payday loans. Appealing a denied claim can take months or years, so companies will front providers that money as they hope for insurer payouts. So United Healthcare's constant denials can be very, very profitable for a payday loan lender, which really works out for United because, of course, they own one, Optum. Optum not only speeds up claim processing to United and other insurers, they offer something called Optum Pay Advance. They must have known that sounds terrible because they've since rebranded that service to the more sterile Capital Loan. When capital loans aren't enough for small practices, there are plenty of companies in the market to buy struggling healthcare providers outright, like Blackstone and CVS. But most importantly, United Healthcare. Now the largest employer of physicians in America, 70,000 of them. United's strategy is called vertical integration. It's part of an ongoing process that gets United Healthcare a cut of every single step of the healthcare process. Say you're uninsured. You injure your knee and go to an online pharmacy for some Advil. While you're shopping around, you see an ad for a doctor specializing in knee pain. A few clicks later, you're scheduled for a knee replacement. The surgery is obviously pretty expensive, so the doctor refers you to a service offering loans to people like you. Faced with thousands of dollars in medical debt, you start considering a health insurance policy. In CEO Andrew Whitty's vision, every part of this process, the pharmacy, the doctor, the loan provider, the insurance, are all run by the same company, his.
There are very few companies in America that have a relationship with 100 million Americans, and none that have a relationship as intimate as healthcare.
Already, United Healthcare members might be told they're required to purchase specific drugs from a hand-selected pharmacy.
Welcome to Optum Rx.
Optum. Sound familiar?
Working every day to take care of your pharmacy needs and make sure that you get the most out of your new benefits.
While insurers say their big happy healthcare family will save you money, it's more like a personal health dictator. A dictator who has a legal responsibility to make as much money as possible. And they're doing a really good job. In 2010, United is worth around $35 billion. Today, it's worth more than $450 billion. When insurers aren't using their savings to invest in vertical integration, they're using it to enrich their shareholders.
It's just such a mystery why anyone would ever want to see a CEO dead. It's just such a mystery, especially that guy.
In 2022, for instance, 7 major insurers, including United Healthcare, generated nearly $70 billion in profit, and proceeded to spend $26 billion of that in stock buybacks. And of course, the executives, the characters you've met so far, are winning too. Richard Burke retired from the United board in 2022 with an estimated net worth of $500 million. And while United executives like to speak of firewalls between their business branches to ward off conflicts of interest, they have been busted for using their subsidiaries to manipulate the market.
New York's Attorney General charged United Health Group with using a research firm the company itself owns to manipulate reimbursement rates.
That firm was called Ingenix, which you might have guessed shut down. Nope, they just rebranded as Optum Insight. Today, Envision alleges that United uses its negotiating power to lower reimbursements for practices or to kick them out of network, putting them in the kind of financial distress that would allow Optum to swoop in and acquire them. The Department of Justice tried to stop United's acquisition of Change, Optum's competitor that facilitates the exchange of claims information between providers and insurers, but in spite of United's history with Ingenix, the judge took CEO Andrew Whitty's word that sharing of competitor info would be against, quote, everything we stand for in the organization. With this merger, United will have access to a trove of data on what other insurers are paying and what they've negotiated with doctors and hospitals. This could allow them to unfairly undermine the competition, further cementing their healthcare monopoly.
It's also worth mentioning that before he was the CEO of United Healthcare, Andrew Whitty was the CEO of the drug maker GlaxoSmithKline.
While Whitty was in charge, GlaxoSmithKline paid $3 billion for fraud, including but not limited to bribing doctors and, quote, encouraging the prescription of unsuitable antidepressants to children.
Why would anyone want this guy to be dead? Why would anyone want to see healthcare CEOs dead? It's just so confusing. It must be that the people are heartless.
It's an organization with a great ethos, a belief in doing things with integrity, a belief in putting the patient at the heart of every decision we make.
Like a jewel thief who moonlights selling security cameras, United has found a way to profit even more off of the havoc that they wreak. If their practices bankrupt your doctor's offices, they can give them a loan or acquire them for dirt cheap. Then, if your medical provider disagrees with United's unwillingness to pay for a CT scan, they'll have to keep in mind that the people they're arguing with are their employer, their owner. If you can't afford your deductible, they can offer you a loan. When you're looking up information about medical procedures, the article might be written by someone on the United Health payroll, who now has an incentive to push treatment good for United's bottom line. And for Whitty, United is just
How does your country still even exist at this point, Americans?
Started. Quote, despite our size, we're just scratching the surface of the opportunity, he told a group of investors. If 40 years of consolidation has taught us anything about health insurance, it's that big is usually bad. While companies like United will always frame their growth as a way to help you, their relentless rationing of healthcare shows it's anything but. They've done it with automated...
What's this video called? Company makes billions by rationing your healthcare.
...denials. And they'll continue to find innovative ways to protect their bottom line as they acquire more and more healthcare businesses. So what can be done about this? Vertical integration has been a very convenient way to escape antitrust measures for insurers like United, because regulators are accustomed to only scrutinizing acquisitions that remove their competition in the same space, in this case, insurance. United isn't even the only problem. Their vertical integration strategy is spreading across the industry. It isn't too late for antitrust regulators to start scrutinizing when companies like CVS or United Healthcare are buying up anything and everything. So, how have the healthcare monopolies affected you? Share your insurance stories in the comments and one might make it into our next video. So,
I wanted to show this with you guys. What can be done? Well, one guy had an idea. Yeah, but we're not pro-violence here, okay, guys? Yashoki, thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you. Wait, somebody linked this earlier. I wanted to see what this was.
I'm Stanley Johnson. I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house in a great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I can barely pay my finance charges. Somebody help me.
Come to lending.
I like that it's an ad for no words. No words. No words. All right. Okay. Maybe Lending Tree does other things. Let's see. Okay. Unintentional satire, yes. This is one of those companies that like pretends to help you with your loans but doesn't actually help you. Lending Tree's pitch was to consolidate the loans at a lower interest rate. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to watch this CNN segment. It was posted 4 hours ago, or like uploaded on their YouTube page 4 hours ago, titled "My Empathy is Out of Network. Internet Reacts to Health Execs Killing with Hate."
48 hours removed from when United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was gunned down in New York, and that massive manhunt is still underway for his killer in what police are calling a calculated and premeditated attack. In a new statement, the United Healthcare Group says this, quote, "While our hearts are broken, we have been touched by the huge outpouring of kindness and support in the hours since this horrific crime took place. But this killing has generated a very different reaction from some on the internet. Just take a look at some of these comments found on
Cause of death, lead poisoning. It's a premeditated condition. Payout denied. This is really sick. The guy was a human being. Wait a second. No, he wasn't. Sorry, my empathy's out of network. Wait, there's a resurfaced clip that is... It's been reposted.
Focused on helping people live healthy. Our mission and values are focused on helping people live healthier lives and making the health system work better for everyone. Data
Bear Silly, thank you for the 20 months. Thank you.
is at the core of our agenda to improve healthcare.
Sending thoughts and deductions. This is terrible. Sending thoughts and prayers to the guy, and I hope he gets away safe. Oh my God, this is horrible. Thoughts and prayers for him and his family. I'm sure his family is scared of their loved one who's on the run right now. Hope he gets away safe. UHC won't even approve an updated MRI to check on brain lesions for my husband who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Our mission and values are focused on maximizing our shareholders' return on investment is all I heard.
Another month, another prime.
My 80-year-old dad had throat cancer last year, necessitating MRI and PET scans, surgery, rehab, and aftercare. Cost to him $0. He's sitting in the room next to me, a tribute to the NHS care, which for any Brit bongers know that they want to come after that shit. And you have to fight tooth and nail to fucking keep it. It's fucking disgusting. Thank you, Oreo. Thank you for the 21 months. My mom has MS. Thank God we're in Canada.
Which directly influences how we develop innovative consumer solutions. Our mission and
Innovative consumer solutions. We're really working on new ways to deny your claims, using AI to deny 90% of them so that we can say, oops. Anyways, let's
under a CNN video about this story online. These are just a few, among dozens of hateful comments that we found, including one saying, quote, "Sorry, my sympathy is out of network." The New York Times writes this, quote, "The dark commentary after the death of the 50-year-old insurance executive from Maple Grove, Minnesota, highlighted the anger and frustration over the state of healthcare in America, where those with private insurance often find themselves in Kafkaesque tangles while seeking reimbursement for medical treatment and are often denied. And that frustration is something that doctors say they've seen from patients throughout their careers.
I see people when they're at their lowest, when the system has failed them, and I'm frankly not surprised. They feel abandoned, they feel exploited, they feel lied to when it comes to the healthcare system, and especially in
Was developed in Israel stuff.
insurances because of the things you mentioned, denials, prior authorization, narrow networks, the cost of healthcare. It's been going on and bottling up for a long time.
So our panel's back. Annie Linsky, we're going to be clear.
It's crazy that they're calling this like they see hate in the wake of CEOs killing. It's not really hate if everybody's celebrating, right? It's not really hate if people are showing up to the crime scene and posting balloons that say the words CEO down with a cheerful little star. Killer still on the loose, as if the general populace is in danger. I'll sleep well knowing this hero is still out there. This is the only time I've seen the comment section be identical across all social media platforms. There's hope for us all. I submitted a claim for my condolences, but it got denied. So sad. Now, which one of y'all did that? The music, you're making it funnier than it already is. This was posted by the Daily Mail, by the way. And the Daily Mail just says, a balloon reading CEO down and depicting a smiley star and party poppers was spotted across the Hilton Hotel. The killer is still on the loose. Not the music, dude. Not the world's smallest violin. Oh, whoa, dude. So good, dude. So good. I've had to tell parents that their kid's EpiPen would be $800. We literally don't care. The last time this country was this united was Pokemon Go summer of 2016, correct? Oh. I'm taking my fiance to New York City for Christmas. Do I make a stop at the holy site and turn it into a pilgrimage? Of course. Yes. Ideally, you do something as funny as this. Just ideally. File a claim.
We're here about the tragedy that is Mr. Thompson and his family, right? And set that aside. But what we do see in the wake of this is an outpouring of anger around the way people have been treated by these companies. Now, we're again going to be clear. We are not saying that this justifies any sort of violence at all. But this conversation has really exploded. I mean, my family's talking about it.
Absolutely, mine is too. I mean, of course, vigilante justice is not the answer to the problem. But what I should say is, and this incident and the reaction to it ought to be a wake-up call to this industry, which has, there have been many big, really good investigative pieces about United Healthcare in particular, and the issues that their customers have getting the healthcare that's promised, getting the responses promised, and if it's not it's not a wake-up call to the industry, it certainly will be to Congress, and they are going to have there will be laws.
In a CNN story that was just published about this, they note that a Facebook post that was put up by United Health Group expressing sadness about the CEO's death, it received 62,000 reactions. 57,000 of them were laughing emojis.
For anyone who missed that. And there's something very BM about the Facebook laughing emoji reaction. I want to see if I can find it.
It received 62,000. CNN story that was just published about this, they note that a Facebook post that was put up by United Health Group expressing sadness about the CEO's death, it received 62,000 reactions. I'm 57,000 of them were laughing emojis.
I mean, that's sad to think about, but look at this. I mean, and you're right. Most of these healthcare issues are life or death. And I have a sick dad home in Louisiana, and we go to the doctor all the time, and sometimes we get denied for things. And it doesn't feel good, you know? And so I think people have a personal issue with the way their healthcare has been administered. And I think, to your point, Annie, over the
How do I see the post? I don't know how to like, I don't know how to see the, oh my, oh my, oh my. Because I'm not signed in, I can't like really. Oh. Stop, get this off my fucking screen, Facebook. We are deeply saddened and shocked at the passing of our dear friend and colleague, Brian Thompson, the CEO of United Healthcare. He was a highly respected colleague and a friend to all those who worked with him. We're working closely with the NYPD and ask for your patience and understanding in this difficult time. Our hearts go out to his family and all who were close to him. 84,000 people reacted with haha emoji. Comments turned off. Do you know how bad it has to be? Do you know how bad it has to be that Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok have all come together to celebrate this guy fucking dying? And this is Facebook. You have to react with your whole ass fucking first name, last name, middle name, fucking social security number, address.
Top reply.
Like, this is not, these are not anonymous likes on like Twitter or TikTok or whatever. These are people's whole fucking accounts. Like, grandma's looking at this and being like, yeah, you should have thought about that, bitch, before you fucking denied me my asthma fucking inhalers. Should have thought about that, motherfucking hoe. Like, even the Debras in the world are laughing at this guy, dude. Jesus. Good, they should be scared for the pain that they caused. I mean, it's just, you... Uh-oh. His final LinkedIn post, the responses are, well, oof. Brian Thompson. Here, this was the last post that he made on his Facebook or no, his LinkedIn account. We work every day to find new ways to make healthcare more affordable, including reducing the cost of life-saving prescription drugs. I'm proud of the work that Chief Affordability Officer Matthew Vesladal and his team are doing to reduce costs for members. Hashtag active affordability. Now let's see Paul Allen's card. Now let's see the replies. You're doing a great job cutting your costs. Not having a single anesthesiologist in network in the entire state of Montana is a great policy to save you money. Hey, Brian, I just spent an hour on the phone battling to get general information for my wife with stage 4 cancer. She's a 45-year-old mother of 4 with abnormal EGFR gene. I'd love to share my experience with you. 860-208-4053 is my cell phone number. This is terrible. They like to see people suffer and not cover their claims, playing Russian roulette. This message is an example of hypocrisy at its finest. Denying claims for people who need it. The only thing this company is good for is screwing their customers. Seems like a laudable mission, but United Health Group is failing my mother by not providing her basic care to get better and back her life. You continue to delay any decision making and authorizations, which are compromising her health even more. And if she doesn't get back to her baseline, United Health Group is partially responsible. She is ready to get better, but instead you have her lying in a hospital bed, those who can make decisions, and then it continues, but you can't read it. Fun fact, these are before the assassination.
next few weeks, few months, we're going to have a conversation about this. If Congress has to take action, I think they will have to, but we hope that these private companies can come to the table and be a little bit more consistent in the way they manage their health care. I think that would be helpful.
You know, United Healthcare has already been the focal point of ire for Congress because it's vertically integrated. They're buying up doctors' offices. They own the largest PBM, which controls the price of prescription drugs in the country. They're the most aggressive on denying claims. I think United Healthcare will get more scrutiny.
Yeah, and of course, we don't know the motivation yet of this killer. We just know that.
This is why people don't like mainstream media anymore. This is why people don't like it anymore. Like, what is this fucking dumb, stupid, gay shit? What is this? We just don't know. Like, what anything. It's such a mystery. It's what he. Yeah, he did put this text on these shells, on these casings, but he really could have been talking about anything, I guess. You know, like deny, people health care, or deny, the Starbucks boycott. Like, it really could have been anything. Just do what it really is. I don't know. You see Elon trying to position himself as someone who's against for-profit healthcare as if he's not literally a libertarian charlatan. Paradox, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you for the 5 gift subs. Thank you so much. Thank you. They straight up didn't include deny at the start. The CEO might have slept with like this guy's girlfriend or something. You just like have no way of knowing. It just really could be anything. This video is like why people hate mainstream media.
Internet immediately came together to celebrate the United Healthcare CEO getting shot. Immediately, there was no discussion. They're like, hell yeah, screw that guy. I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought it was kind of fucked up. I was like, that's a human being, bro. Like, he has a family. But then I just went into a coffee shop and I saw a poster for a GoFundMe for the owner of the coffee shop to get a cancer surgery because the insurance company wouldn't pay for it. And I was like, yeah, no, I get it. Like, the fact that there's a health tab on the website that's supposed to raise money to send little Johnny to like astronaut camp is all you need to know. It's kind of wild.
And like the healthcare system is so broken in America that everyone who lives in this country has either themselves experienced getting denied treatment for something that was medically necessary, knowing someone who was denied treatment or like coverage for something that was medically necessary, or not going to the doctor because you're hoping this thing goes away on its own. It's like, I'm experiencing severe pain, but I also have no money or insurance. Well, let's hope it goes away in a couple days. If I had insurance, I would be going to the doctor right now, but I don't. So, yeah. I understand now why public executions were so popular, especially when the person was a piece of shit. I watched Michael Moore go to Cuba for healthcare back in the early 2K. My leukemia treatment would have cost $4 million without insurance. Edge Runner first episode has the protagonist's mother have healthcare denied because she didn't have the most expensive insurance.